he doesn't always have the priestly garment on. So David and all the people of Israel brought up the ark of the Lord with shouts of joy and the blowing of ram's horns. But as the ark of the Lord entered the city of David, Michal, the daughter of Saul, looked down from her window. Now what you need to know about Saul's daughter, Michal, was that David won her fair and square. You've ever heard this little story called David and Goliath? Where David defeats the giant Goliath. Part of the prize was Saul's daughter, Michal. That he would be married to the king's daughter, be forever a part of the king's family, plus a whole bunch of riches and different things like that. So when he defeated the giant, he became married to Michal. So David's first wife was Michal. And this is years later, after Saul's dead, after David is the king of Israel. And here's Michal, not being very nice. When she saw King David leaping and dancing before the Lord, she was filled with contempt for him. They brought the ark of the Lord and set it in its place inside the special tent David had prepared for it. And David sacrificed burnt offerings and peace offerings to the Lord. When he had finished his sacrifices, David blessed the people in the name of the Lord of heaven's armies. It went away. I must have cut something off. In the name of the Lord of heaven's armies. Period. Then he gave to every Israelite man and woman in the crowd a loaf of bread, a cake of dates, and a cake of raisins. It's party time. Must be. They're giving out cakes. And then all the people returned to their homes. When David returned to the home to bless his own family, Michal, the daughter of Saul, came out to meet him. Now, can you imagine? David doesn't know that Michal has contempt of him right now. He's just done a great thing, honoring the Lord, worshiping him unrestrainedly, and he's all excited. Boy, I've been there where I'm all excited and just can't wait to share something, and you walk through the door and somebody just bursts your bubble before you even get a word out. Anybody been there? Been there and done that. We all have, I'm sure. Just had really exciting news to share, and as soon as we go, the other person unloads on us. And that's what happens here with David. She said in disgust, "How dignified the king of Israel looked today, shamelessly exposing himself to the servant girls like any vulgar person might do." David retorted to Michal, "I was dancing before the Lord, who chose me above your father and all of his family. He appointed me as the leader of Israel, the people of the Lord. So I celebrate before the Lord. Yes, I am willing to look even more undignified than this, even to be humiliated in my own eyes. But those servant girls you mentioned will indeed think I am dignified." So Michal, the daughter of Saul, remained childless throughout her entire life. It's not an easy thing to be embarrassed. But if you think about it, the only time we can be embarrassed is when we give the power to somebody else to shame us. When I was growing up, I used to have a really bad temper. I mean, a temper that was explosive. Now, I never laid a hand on anybody out of my temper, except for my sister once. And I'm not proud of that to this day. But boy, I would yell, scream, and throw things, and I go punch walls and all sorts of things. And then when I was almost 15 years old, God got a hold of me and my temper. And my dad and I were talking after God had started to convict me, and I said, "But they just make me so angry." And my dad pointed out, no one can make you angry unless you give them the power to do so. If you're going to give up your rights to control yourself, then yes, somebody else can control you. They can make you angry. But if you're going to be in control of yourself, no one can make you anything. Now, I don't have perfect control over my anger today. I don't know that I ever will, but it's a whole lot better than it used to be, because nobody can make me angry unless I give them the power to do so. Teens, hear me on this. Oh, hear me on this. No one can make you angry. No one can make you embarrassed. No one can shame you unless you give them the power to do so. So the question becomes, why in the world would I be embarrassed about worshiping God with all my might? And that's really where David was coming from when he talked to Michal. He says, you know what? Go ahead, try and shame me. Not going to change a thing. I was dancing before the Lord with all of my might. I was excited. I was worshiping my God, giving Him all of me. And if that makes me undignified, then watch out, because I'm going to become more undignified than this, even to the point that I'll look embarrassed in front of my own eyes. But if that's what I need to do to worship my God, then I'm going to. And if you have a problem with that, it's your problem, not mine. We need to worship God with all of our heart. When Jesus was asked what are the two most important commandments, He didn't even hesitate to say, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. All of the law of the prophets hang on these two commands. And if I'm going to learn to love the Lord with all my heart, soul, mind, and strength, I can't allow anyone around me to affect how I love Him. I can't allow those around me to say, well, you shouldn't be doing that. That's embarrassing. Now, Pastor Mark, that's real easy to say from the platform on a Sunday morning. That's real easy to point out, say, well, we shouldn't let other people embarrass us, and tell us we should be embarrassed for worshiping God in all situations. But when the rubber meets the road, Pastor, I don't know. I don't think we have it figured out. Well, let me tell you this. If we can get it figured out, and we can worship God in all situations without allowing other people to affect how we worship, you'll find a lot more peace and joy in your life, because you'll be allowed to be who you are. I had a conversation with a teen this week, and honestly, I can't even tell you who it was for sure. It was at school, so I had to be careful. But they were talking about how do I be happy? How come I have to be two different people all the time? I said, plain and simple, you don't. I am myself wherever I go. I'm the same person at home as I am at church, as I am at school, as I am on the football field. I am me. I don't have to worry about what mask I'm putting on. I don't have to worry about who I'm supposed to act like when I'm around this person. And heaven forbid, if two different groups of people ever come in contact with me at the same time, how in the world am I supposed to get by? Very simply, be the same all the time. Be consistent. Well, but Mr. Watt, how am I supposed to... No, see, it doesn't work that way. If you just be the person you know you really are, it doesn't matter what other people think. You'll have more confidence in yourself than you've ever had before, and you'll have every ability to do more than you ever thought you could, because you're yourself.